Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about what I do as far as hypertrophy work being the majority of the work that my clients do. And I get some people who are like, but aren't you a powerlifting coach? Well, no, no. Only 15 to 20% of my clients actually compete in powerlifting. At the time of making this video, I have 41 clients, and 6 of them compete in powerlifting. 6 out of 41. I have as many people, if not more, who compete in other sports. And a lot of my people just want to get strong. They want to get jacked, and that's a lot of what we do. So, the question comes up of why do your guys do so much hypertrophy work, and how much is it? And the answer to that is depends upon which training system they're using and whether they're a ranked novice. If you're a ranked novice, obviously everything is hypertrophy work because we're probably working at 5 to 10 reps mostly. The nature of the beast. But when it comes to my people who are either running 3-week type waves, whether it's 5-3-1 type training, the 3-day week work mode I had put a bunch of people on, which is squat, bench, and deadlift day, or whether it's conjugate, that number is somewhere between 70 and 90%. 70 and 90% of our training is geared towards just direct hypertrophy, with conjugate being the least, but we also tend to have the highest total training volumes. So the actual hypertrophy work isn't less. And I want that to be very, very clear. When I say that, people will say, well, your conjugate people, why is it only 70%? But they do just as much hypertrophy work. They just train more. Okay, they actually train more, so their 70% may be equal or higher than that 90% for my other people. So, what do we mean by hypertrophy work? I'm going to say generally anything over 5 reps. Anything over 5 reps. And sometimes my people do as many as 20 plus reps on certain movements, but those tend to be very specific exercises. We're usually around the 10 rep range. Right, we're around the 10 rep range. Some stuff goes a little higher, certain body weight movements and things, right? Because of just the nature of those movements and loading. But it's hypertrophy, and we don't do hypertrophy blocks. We do this stuff year round. And the reason for it, we can't afford for it to detrain. We can't afford for it to detrain, and I don't believe in block periodization. And people say, what do you mean it doesn't work? No, it works. You just detrain performance elements that we want, and I think it has a higher injury rate. I train all my lifters concurrently. I train them concurrently because we need to be maximizing muscle mass year round. And if we start looking at that, more and more coaches realize that for sports. They're like, really, why are we having athletes strength train outside of specific movements that we need neurological training for? In the weight room. What are we trying to do? We're trying to put muscle on them. Muscle equals force production. And anyone who is trying to separate size and strength is 2022, might be 2023 when this video comes out. Anybody who's telling you you can separate size and strength is pretty much a flat earther. Okay? Those are people, these are the sort of people who could be convinced the earth is flat. Because it is that unscientific. The data is overwhelming. It's muscle mass. Muscle mass is what we are doing. And I'm not saying neural drive and other stuff doesn't matter, because it does, but those can all be sport specific. We can do stuff for force production, which is that other 30% for my conjugate people, by the way. And it's the other 10% for my other people. All right, for a lot of them, we do one really heavy set that may get up over 5 reps. It may go to 10 or 12. Is almost an AMRAP, or it might be a heavy single, a heavy triple, and then everything else is volume, usually 10 plus, unless we run phases of 5s for specific movements only, like peaking for a powerlifting meet. But you know what? I don't like to do that. My people who aren't peaking for a powerlifting meet, we don't even usually do 5s on those systems. We do 10s. Even on their classic lifts, right? Size gives us more strength. It gives us more force production. The amount of force that a muscle is capable of producing is directly proportional to its cross-sectional area of the muscle itself, the muscle fibers, the sum total of the muscle fibers. That cross-sectional area, that is what gives us force production potential. The only reason some people can seem to produce more force is due to leverages. Leverages, moment arms, and then neurological efficiency. But what does that neurological efficiency really do? It just takes the muscles that you have and lets you recruit them quicker. Right? It gets you to the upper threshold fibers quicker. Fewer fractions of a second, fewer microseconds. That's actually what it is. Or there's a skill component to bracing, getting tight, driving through a big, heavy movement. Everything else is hypertrophy. It's all about size. So we train accordingly. Why wouldn't we? And hopefully at this point people see the problem with training blocks. What happens? They're like, well, we peak them for maximum strength, chasing a theoretical 0.5 or 1% advantage on a 1-rep max. And then we do entire blocks without significant hypertrophy work. So what happens? They're losing muscle by the end of those blocks. Right? Let's say you do the 2-3 week blocks. Well, they're losing muscle mass. At no point is anyone who you are trying to maximize strength, at no point can we afford to detrain gaining muscle. We can't. People are like, but people do it and they're champions. Yeah, they do, but they're losing muscle. And hopefully people can put this together and realize real quickly that system is for guys on hefty doses of stuff. Because the stuff will help you hold on to muscle when the hypertrophy goes down. Right? You can do some sets of 3 and 1 with big movements. You're on enough stuff, and you'll retain the muscle through those phases. You won't lose any. As long as you don't go on too long. What about people not on stuff? Because a bunch of my people in this video clip are actual drug-free lifters. Right? Like Mike, who you guys see here, thick, doing these hack squats. He's drug-free. You think we get that big while taking hypertrophy out of our training for weeks or months every year? I don't think so. All right. We do the volume. We do training volume. And we do so in a way that allows us to maximize the training stimulus while minimizing the fatigue. We are trying to focus upon doing it and recovering while concurrently training and recovering from these other performance elements. Okay, that's what we are doing. That's what we're doing. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.